What's going on, everyone? It's Mike back again, and Everton have just drew at home with Spurs 1-1. Now, if you'd have offered me a 1-1 draw before the start of the game, I probably would have took it, but when being a little bit disappointed. I don't know what to say. Like, the emotions are unbelievable. Spurs definitely caused problems for the first 20 minutes. But I thought Everton were really good. I thought we were in the game. I thought there weren't enough attacking impetus. I think in a lot more games we've got more people in the box in the final third, and we didn't do that as much tonight. But all in all, I was happy. And then I think with the way we were playing, we were really clever with the transition. So Spurs would keep the ball in midfield, they'd attack down the flank, and then Iwobi or McNeil would come out and carry the ball or do something with it. And we looked fine. We looked like we could cope with Spurs, and we ran in at half time, and I was fairly confident Everton would still go on and win the game up until about the 60th minute. And Abdoulaye Doucouré, the second time he's done this now this season, he gets involved in something that he doesn't need to. He did it against Sevilla, and he did it today, and it was a mistake. It was a mistake. It's fundamentally, in my opinion, cost us 2 points today. I will talk about the rest of it, but he pushes Harry Kane in the face. Now, there is no doubt that Harry Kane goes down like a sack of shit. He absolutely milks it, but Doucouré does push him in the face. You know, I can sit here and sugarcoat it as much as we like, but he does do it. And that really kills the impetus of where we were going. You know, I thought we were on the front foot. I thought we were the better team. I thought the Goodison crowd were getting more hostile. You know, the referee was making decisions at that point that were favouring Spurs in the game. You know, everything was sort of building up to that hostile approach, and then he pushes him in the face. And I just sat there and I screamed at the telly. I just went, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing that? Because, you know, in the moment where Everton need a result, he, in my opinion, at that time threw it away, and I was really disappointed by it. I was, you know, bearing in mind, I actually thought he was one of the better players today. Carried the ball really well, was aggressive where he needs to be, tried to win headers, and he does that. And it's really disappointing. He's now out for 3 games, and not necessarily next week, because I don't expect us to get anything at Old Trafford, but the 2 games after, they're vital. They're absolutely key. And it could be even more, you know, if that's seen as violent conduct, albeit I don't think it will be more than 3 games. Then we're without him, you know, and he's been one of these players that's played pretty much every minute under Dyche, and one of the first names on the team sheet under him. So really, really disappointed. But it was what it was. Harry Kane goes down. 5 minutes later, literally, it's all Spurs at this point. 5 minutes later, Harry Kane, he is quite instrumental. He gets the ball, he goes out wide, comes into the box, and Michael Keane, I think he steps across. It's not Son. Who is he? He steps across someone. And when he steps across him, he catches him, albeit by, he only just catches him. And he goes down, it gives him a penalty. Harry Kane steps up. It's a great penalty. I mean, it's an absolutely fantastic penalty. It's a shame he can't hit them in the World Cup. He slots it home, sticks it bottom corner, makes it 1-0 Spurs. And at that point, I'm sitting there thinking, right, this is damage limitation. This is goal difference time. You know, we're competing with Leeds at the sort of 17th, 18th. Their goal difference is better than ours. We can't concede too many goals here. And Spurs completely fall off. Like, literally, they sit back, they allow Everton the ball, they cause themselves all sorts of trouble. And at that point, Everton are starting to get the wings up, the hope up. You know, we're popping a few shots off. We have 3 shots on target. We have 4 opportunities. We have a couple of corners. And we're the team with less men. You know, it was exactly what Conte said. They were boneless. They had no backbone. It was pathetic, if I'm being honest. And, you know, I'm not up for criticising other fans and other football teams, so I won't. But the team, the 11 that were on that pitch at that moment for Spurs, I can understand the concern that the fans have, and what Conte mentioned, because they just had no backbone. They fell apart. They handed the game to Everton at that point, and they basically said, right, come and score if you can. And it got made much, much easier when their substitute come on and absolutely went through Michael Keane, who gets back up, brushes it off. Brilliant. You're down to 80, there's 87 minutes on the clock at this point, and Michael Keane lashes a 30-yard screamer in the, I think it was the top. It weren't quite the top bins, but I mean, it was one of the best strikes I've seen from a centre half at Goodison Park in a long, long time. And he runs off celebrating. Michael Keane tonight was absolutely fantastic. Michael Keane was the Michael Keane I remember 4.5 years ago. He was absolutely brilliant tonight, start to finish. He won headers. He was commanding at the back. There was only one mistake that he made that led to that penalty, and people can absolutely criticise him for it. You know, he gives away a penalty, but by God, does he make up for it. And Michael Keane tonight, actually, weirdly, is my man of the match. He was absolutely fantastic. He cleared one off the line in the first half. He was a threat from corners. At the end of the game, we almost score again. Michael Keane's up there as well. Earlier on in the first half, he gets a fucking chest and a volley and he shoots towards goal. It was just, I know he made the mistake. I know he did. But I thought he was fantastic tonight. And I actually thought Tarkowski was as well. Vitaly Mykolenko, when he come on, added nothing. He didn't add anything. I thought Ben Godfrey was much better than him. Coleman went off, so that was a switch. I thought Tom Davies had a bit of energy in the middle of the park. Tom Garner looked a little bit nervous, if I'm being honest, when he come on the pitch, and he did get clattered as well. McNeil is absolutely fine defensively and crossing the ball. He just lacks that pace. I thought Iwobi had a much better game than he has done recently. I thought Onana was okay, better than he has been, but I still don't think he's as good as he can be. But that's fine. He comes off, he jeers up the fans. You know, he shakes hands with the players that are coming on. He never sort of seems in a tantrum or anything. I respect that. I like that. And Damari Gray worked his socks off, but with limited support, limited supply, and he just physically weren't able to compete with Romero and Eric Dyer. But he did a decent job. But Everton fully deserved a point, if not more. We could have won it at the end. Ball bounces to Tarkowski. He absolutely rifles it. And I think if it's not for Eric Dyer making a block, I think it goes in. There was a couple of shouts for handball. I very much would like to see the Porro one, because although his hands are behind his back, he sort of leans out with his elbow. I mean, if that's how you're going to get away with it, then I'd like to see that again, but we haven't. But I'd be very interested to see if that arms behind his back and that is a natural body movement, because I don't think it is personally. But there you go. But all in all, I don't think any Spurs fan can be disappointed that they've took a point from Goodison, because I think we could have got all three. And I don't think any Everton fan will be disappointed, because I think at 1-0 down with 10 men, it took real resilience to stay in that game, and we did, and we were fantastic. And Sean Dyche deserves a million bits of credit. Fantastic, and I think we go on again. You know, this is a point against Chelsea, a point against Spurs. You know, we've got Manchester United next week. Look, I'm not expecting anything, but if we could get a point there, that would be amazing. And then we're going into some games that actually I think Everton can win. You know, Fulham, Palace, Leicester, Wolves. You know, these are games that Everton can win. So really, really happy with the performance in the end. And we go on again. I thought the referee did all right tonight, actually. I think there was a couple of decisions that went Spurs' way, but I actually sometimes don't mind that, because it gets the crowd going, it gets the emotion and that raw aggression. And Goodison's the best place in the world when it's feeling hostile and aggressive, and we were brilliant in that sense. And another thing I want to mention, and it's really important that I mention this, I was really disappointed in Harry Kane tonight, because, you know, this is a player that a lot of kids look up to, and I'm not going to criticise his moral compass. He was pushed in the face, But I really don't like it when players over-exaggerate. I really don't. It's just not something I've never liked. I never have. I remember seeing, I think it was Michael Essien for Chelsea in the Champions League about 15 years ago, and I remember him going down and them getting a red card, whoever they were playing, and I remember sitting there screaming at the telly because I just don't like it, and I think Harry Kane milked it tonight. It was still a red card. I'll sit here and say it is still a red card, but I personally don't like looking at that where players overkill it, over milk it. And you see it so much in the Premier League now, but Harry Kane, unfortunately, because he's so fantastic, gets that stigma, that real criticism on him, England captain. Lots of kids look up to Harry Kane, and rightfully so, but I didn't like that tonight, and that's just a personal opinion. It's nothing against him. I just think irrespective of what happened, he was getting. Decoré was being sent off. It was a push in the face. It was abundantly obvious, but just disappointing that bit. That's the only sour note on the game, in my opinion. Plus a Decoré red card. Lucas Moura, there's no way he should be seen in a Spurs shirt again, because I think with Everton having 10 men, Michael Keane can still score that goal, by the way. Tottenham were awful at 10 men when Everton had 10 men. It really was. But I think it still would have been more difficult with 10 men against 10 men. There was only ever one winner. There just wasn't enough time for Everton to get the second. So yeah, guys, look, I'm buzzing. I'm over the moon. We go into the next game. And after all the drama about, financial fair play and transfers and points deductions, them fans and that team, they turn up tonight and they play football for that blue shirt. And by God, they were brilliant again. So, guys, leaving it there. Keep smiling. Peace.